I'll do that.
Yo. It's your boy High Five Vega. I'm joined by the man who never sleeps, the guy who's not afraid of the dark, the man who runs marathons on a work week. What's up, Dean?
Half. It's a half. But yeah, what's going on? All right, let me turn this back off. How's it going?
It's going good, man.
Yeah. Oh, red lights. Oh, traffic.
So I don't think the guys expected this. We didn't tell them exactly what we were going to do. We knew what we were going to try to do.
Yeah.
We didn't tell them, so they're getting the Reverse Polarity roadshow right now.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to go 2 weeks without doing a show, and with all the nonsense that I have going on right now and for the show and for all the it's like the work. What is it? The work family life is definitely distressed right now. So,
and travel season just started. This is just your first trip of the year, right?
I know, and dude, the next one is in a week, and we're already behind. If you can believe that.
Surprise,
like we have, yeah. I laughed. I had a call yesterday or the day before. I honestly don't remember what day it was. Someday this week with Kenwood, and I was like, "Hey, what about this idea? We want to do this." And he's like, "I'm not going to tell you. That's a great idea, but you're stupid for even suggesting it." And I was like, "Yeah, but it'd be cool." And he goes, "Yeah, but you don't have any time. How the hell are you going to get it done?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but it seems really cool, so we want to do it."
Right.
It's like, all right, well, have fun with that.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was going to be enough time, and then we have next week because we fly out like Sunday morning of next weekend.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'll have this weekend, and it's like, no, I'm playing with Haley the whole day. We're going to do the Disney Princess half marathon, which is why I'm driving now. I'm driving back from Orlando because I had to go register, and now I have to go back. So it was just like timing sucks.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, I got to take time for the family at some point. So
yeah, you can, or eventually you won't have a family.
Yeah, exactly. So, you just work harder every other minute. So
right, exactly. And Andy says, even though Dina's not here, I can still hear his voice. #legend.
Yeah, I mean, I would turn on the light, but it's really distracting when you're driving.
Yeah, that's a good way to die. Like we do, like please don't die on the show live.
Yeah, that would suck. That would be bad. It'd be epic, but it would be bad.
Right.
It'd be very bad.
That the moment that gets me over 100,000 subscribers is you dying live on the live stream.
Oh God, that would be terrible. Let's not even talk about that. Let's get to happier thoughts. How you been? What have you been?
Been good, man. On a snow day today, I got a complete video edited. Yeah, man. I drove out one time. That's it.
That makes absolutely one of us. I am so far behind. It's not even funny. I had great intentions, but they all went to crap. Like this week, like I think we worked late last night because we needed to get the car done so I could leave early today to get over there because traffic on I-4 is a nightmare. So I left there at like 3:45 and I still didn't get there till almost 6 o'clock. And it's not that long of a drive. It's just it sucks.
Yeah.
But it's like I was talking with one of our partners today, and he goes, "Tomorrow's Thursday, right?" And I go, "Dude, today is Thursday." And he's like, "Oh my God, you're kidding." I'm like, "Yeah, no, we're all in the same boat. We all literally are trying to get everything planned for next week, and it's like, holy crap." But I spent, it's like I sit down because the girls, they get to see me all week, and I didn't get to see them almost the week before we left. So it's like, there's life stuff that has to happen. And so I sit down to edit, and it's like the next thing I know, it's like 11 o'clock, and it's like, okay, well, I have this other stuff I need to do. So 2 o'clock in the morning, and I still haven't even started to edit yet. I'm falling asleep. And it's like, okay, well, I guess no video today. But today we did do a live. Did you catch any of that?
Yeah, I did catch some of it. You were doing some tuning on the audio control.
Yeah. So people always ask us to do that. And I was like, you know what? We have time to do that. So though it's not a cool edited video and it's not polished, at least,
Right.
you know, it answers a question that a lot of people have asked. So that was
Yeah.
fun. And of course,
Their software
yeah.
looks pretty, you know, it's pretty user friendly. It's not.
Well, you know, and the thing is I feel like most people's DSP software, once it's explained to you, it becomes, I mean, for us, it's like, where are these key things? All right, fine, we get it. All right, cool. But that's just it. You know, it's like trying to explain it to you, and then once we show you how it works, it usually takes the fear out of it and makes it super cool.
Yeah.
The funny thing is we couldn't get the subwoofer to play, and it was the damn speaker cup.
Huh?
Yeah, I didn't.
Like it was shorted out or something?
No, when I was plugging in the wire, I didn't get it in all the way.
Ah.
And that was the only thing we didn't pre-test before we went live, because it's like, the sub always works. Why would it not work? Yeah, sub didn't work. Damn it. So it's like, all right, well, we don't need this anyways. So I was like,
we got a super chat from David here. He likes the indirect cop lighting that you just had, or the emergency lights that you're.
Yeah, no, that was the state trooper. They were putting down cones. So if I would have been an hour later, then this would be another hour-long drive, because they're getting ready to close down a lane.
Oh no.
Yeah, so they already had it down to one lane, and that's what the cop was doing. So yay.
Nice. Well, at least it's behind you.
Well, that's what we got caught in when we were coming back from Knowledge Fest last year.
Right.
Was, all right, is it raining now? No, this is just some doofus in front of me spraying. Okay, cool. You know, we kept saying, all right, we'll leave at 8 o'clock. We'll get home by 9:30. All right, we'll leave at 9 o'clock. We'll get home by 10:30. All right, it's midnight. Yeah, we'll be home, you know. And then we get on the road, and nope, they have to shut down to one lane for like half the trip. And so we didn't get home till 2 in the morning. And of course, I'm falling asleep. Yeah, that was good. It was a real good time. Good time.
Yeah, you know, I've been talking about K-Fest. What happened? I caught a lot of little streams. I caught some pictures, and the award show mics, like the debacle with the mic, the main guy. Like, what was it loud in person, dude? Like, he was. It
sounded great in person, but somehow. So here's what happened. We got asked at the last minute if we could do the stream, and I was like, of course.
Right.
And so all the sound guys were over there. Like, they hired a sound crew to come in and set it all up. And so we were piggybacking off of all of their rig. And the soundboard is provided by the hotel. So there's nothing they could do.
Right.
So he had a little strap-on boom mic, and it sucked. So the mic worked great.
Yeah, that one sounded good even on the stream.
Yeah, so but his mic just, and there wasn't anything I could do about it because we didn't have time to test it beforehand.
Right.
And so, and he was actually testing with the regular mic. So we're all set, ready to go. And the gain on it was bad. And I'm looking at the sound guys, and he's looking at me like, dude, there's nothing I can do. I mean, there's no EQ. It's just a level. He goes, and I've got it cranked down, and you've got it cranked down on your laptop. It's just distorting and sounding like crap. And I was like, all right, crap it is.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear what he has to say. They just want to hear the winners. So.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Like, come on, man. Hey, let's just see the winners. The jokes. We can get past.
Yeah, it was fun though, because we got there early and we helped them set up. Because and they were all just in full panic mode, and I'm like, all right, everyone, just relax, man. We got this. It's no big deal. Well, what do you need me to do? And they're like, well, the photographer doesn't know what he's doing. Can we get this set up? He didn't bring lights. I got lights coming. Can you set up the lights? And I was like, of course. And then just moving everything around and then getting my end of it set up. And all of a sudden, it was funny because all of a sudden everybody was gone except for the waiters. I'm just standing there like, where'd everybody go? Like, where's? And I'm like waiting. I'm looking at my watch, and I'm like, all right, the band's all set up, and I'm like, there's nobody here official. So I finally,
Right.
you know, it's time. So I text him. I'm like, hey man, there's nobody here. Can I let everybody in?
Right.
And they're like, is the band ready? And I was like, band's playing. He's like, yeah, let them in. So like, I got to go outside and, you know, play, you know, hey guys, you all ready to come? You know, it was like Friday night at the wrestling arena.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I can see you with
You know,
the guy with the mic that comes. You know, the guy that's in the.
oh yeah.
I can't even think his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
And you guys stayed where?
I was South Point, I think. Sunset Point, South Point.
Oh,
I don't know, it was about,
is it casino?
yeah, it's like it's on the strip. It's just the other way. So it's like 5 miles away from all the good shit.
Yeah.
It was really nice though. Everything was inside. Like, it was funny because at some point I was like, I haven't been outside or seen daylight in 2.5 days.
You're not supposed to when you're in Vegas.
No, and like even and it was like, well, someone said to me, well, don't you look out the window in your room? And I was like, dude, we finally got the shade to where like it wasn't totally blinding us. I don't want to move it, you know. So we were just turning on the light, and yeah, I don't know. Vegas, when at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're looking for a bathroom and you're looking around, is just such a depressing place.
It is, man.
It's literally where you just go to die. I mean,
well,
just
it's
watching.
Like I listen. I know you've never been in a strip club, but if you're ever in a strip club when the lights come on, you're like, oh my god, I'm filled with shame right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just watching all these people just smacking their little coins, just smacking those little things, watching the little things spin around, and then smacking it again. And you know, it's like they're just sitting there smoking their cigarette with their drink or their oxygen tube or you know, whatever the hell they got going on. I'm just like, this is so depressing. Like, this is fun for people. 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's just so weird. It is just so weird. I mean, it's obviously the second trip to Vegas for us, but I don't know. I mean, we had a great time at the Hoover Dam. I'll leave it at that. So that was fun.
Vegas is fun until it's not. It's exhausting, man. It's I don't know. You know, it's not a vacation for me, anyways.
No, I mean, and for us, it's work. It's straight work. I mean, we had dude, it was awesome. Like Knowledge Fest, this was awesome. This was the best. This was great. I mean, it was a ton of people. The classes were spectacular. Like it was awesome, and there was a ton of cars. We got dude, it was so cool. So Alpine, you know, we talked to everybody at Alpine, and of course they all know who we are, and we're like, dude, so we need to. I don't know if you guys. There's a guy named Chris Tagoo. He used to go What's New with Chris Tagoo. He used to be his show.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, Chris, you know, we want to see we want to do the F1 status. And he's like, dude, Steve Brown's here. I'm gonna get him to do it. And I was like, perfect. So what was it, like Friday morning at 9 o'clock? Steve Brown came over and we sat in the Tesla with the F1, and he gave us the tour, which I recorded, of course.
Right.
It's you know, it's the video, and I'm honestly super excited to edit it and get it out, because for all the doubters and people that are like, oh, it's, you know, $35,000. What? It's like, dude, no, man, this thing is not for everybody, and there is nothing like it on the face of the earth in a car audio.
Oh wow!
Like, it is, and there again, a lot like people. The problem is people just don't understand what it is. Like, everyone there is like, oh man, it sounded okay. I mean, you know, for that much money, I could make something better. And it's like, yeah, actually, physically, you cannot make something better than this. This is the best that it'll be. And they're like, no. I'm like, no, you physically can't make anything better than this. There is not another piece of equipment on the face of the earth for car audio that has the resolution that this thing has and does what this DSP does. Doesn't exist. And they're like, well, I mean, yes, you can make something that sounds good, but it will never be as good as this. It can't do it. Okay. You know, like, just him describing what this DSP. And a lot of people are like, oh no, I just want to buy the DSP, or I just want to buy the controller, or I just want to buy the. It's all one piece.
Right.
Like, even though you see pictures of things, it's all one piece. Like the controller, the little handheld DAC, the big thing that looks like the DSP. It's not three separate pieces. It's all one piece that works together, and you can't interchange things with it.
Yeah, it's a system. It's a complete.
It's a full soup to nuts, yeah. And it was cool. It was cool. And then what was also cool about it was they did this 10-minute music dissertation or instruction manual or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So you could sit in the car and they could just press go, and like two people could sit in the car at the same time or whatever, and you could just listen to the car. And so we recorded that, and that'll appear in a separate video because it's all like copyrighted music and all that other fun stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was dude, it was really cool. And I of course was geeking out. I was like, dude, like I know normally this is the other way around, but man, like it's so cool to meet you in person. Like, yeah, I grew up looking at all your cars, you know,
Right.
you know, Sinister Six, the BMW, and all the other fun stuff he's built. It's like, oh man, this is so neat.
So how did the Alpine? Does it come with some kind of source unit, or is it like a factory integration unit?
No, it comes with the little. It comes with their little.
Like a director for a Helix or something?
No, it comes with a little Alistair Kern music player.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's like the director that attached to the 7909 is what they're calling it. But there's of course the letters in front of it have different meanings than like the original 7909. It has the chiclet buttons, and that's the piece that everyone looks at and goes, "I just want to buy that." It's like you can't. It's just a controller. It doesn't do anything. It's just there to control the DSP.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, and it does. You can get the factory radio into it, obviously, but it's not really what it's made for. It's made to play from that little portable player with the obscene codecs that you can throw at it. It's like,
where are they downloading their music? Are they using those DSD files or something like that?
Jesus Christ, I don't know. They were playing, what is it, 380 or... Yeah. I was like, holy shit. It's like, it's... And then again, don't quote me because I don't remember. It was like 380, 32-bit. I mean, it was like, holy Jesus.
That's crazy. Yeah, like, and there was only like a few Kenwood head units that I know of that play files like that.
Yeah, but nothing plays this.
Yeah, that's something different.
Nothing can play this with the resolution out. It's not down-resing anything.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it unique, is that this crystal timer that they have built into it to keep everything synced is like, it's like Martian technology, straight up Martian technology. Like,
yeah, I'm excited to see the video then, because you know we only know like the first layer of the onion about this system.
Yeah, but it was you know, once he was talking to me, and there again, I looked at it like, I understand, like not everyone got the cool treatment we got, but we got it because we were going to be sharing it. So it wasn't like they were just doing it because it was me. They were doing it because it was everyone else but me. But I was just the guy to sit in the car and hold the camera while he talks.
So how many of these systems are out there? Like at the show, there's probably only the one, but are they in the wild?
No, there's only one. There's just one. So Alpine built this one piece.
Right.
And there is going to be a tour at some point where the car is going to tour around.
Yeah.
But one of the other cool things is once you get the car done, they actually fly out one of the Alpine tuners to tune the car, because they have special equipment to tune the car with. So like, yeah. So it's not like some, you know, hey man, we're gonna put this in your car. Oh yeah, I could tune it. And they set the crossover points, and then there you go for $35,000. No, they send one of the guys out. They'll fly him out to where the car is, and then he'll sit there and tune the car for you. So it's you know, with their tools to make sure that it's done properly.
So this has got to be, you got to be like some kind of special dealer to even get this. I'm sure it's not going to be an average Car Toys or Best Buy.
No. In order to you have to become an F1 status dealer.
Right.
So like there's certain criteria that you have to meet. Like we would never be an F1 status dealer. It's never going to happen. You
Right.
know? Because for 35 grand just to buy the equipment, you're probably going to spend another 35 to 40 grand to put it in.
Exactly.
You know, because they have like it needs to be done like this. Like this Tesla, they rebuilt the whole interior of this Tesla.
Yeah, this is going to be like something that the guys at the Old Fashioned podcast, some of the stuff they mess with.
Well, you know, they're. I mean, Gary has built enough. Gary worked with Steve, and two of them built the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there again, they're only going to sell like if they're lucky 10 of these a year.
Right.
You know, so and like, okay, cool. So, but that wasn't the only car. There was a ton of cars there, which was really cool. So, we spent as much time as we could, like going into cars and just like that kind of thing. Fred Lynch from ARC was there. So he has a Ford Flex. And that was cool because that was a straight up grocery getter. Like his wife was like, man, you can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can do that, but that's it. So it was like, really? He's like, yeah. And that thing sounded great as expected because I don't think I've ever sat in a bad sounding ARC car, but you know.
Yeah.
But no, we did our class Friday morning at 9:00, which was kind of stressful just because it's like the first class right out of the gate.
Yeah.
But we had good attendance and everyone was happy with the performance of the class and we had a lot of fun. And we went when we were at the dam. We wanted to do an activity in the class where we took I got to post these pictures. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. We bought a car, a little like 124 scale car. So we bought this little orange Mustang. And I had Haley before we left cut me a bunch of 5-star stickers on the Cricket. So after the class, this was sitting on the table the whole time. We had 5-star stickers and, you know, Vegas, you know, Knowledge Fest 2022.
Yeah.
And we asked, all right, who wants to come up and what you've just learned, take a picture of the car. And the person who takes the best picture voted for by the class gets to keep the car.
There you go.
So we did do it. There was this 18-year-old girl in the front seat. She got up. She killed these guys, man.
Oh, dude, come on! Like this was her moment to shine. As soon as you said that, she's like, "Oh, okay, I got this.
Yeah,
I got this."
Oh, totally, man. It was so bad. And there again, once we got to the photos, I critiqued the photos to kind of like give pointers as far as what they were doing wrong, and you know, focus points and all that other fun stuff. And you know,
are you mostly teaching them like with their phones then?
Yeah, the whole thing was to use your phone. We didn't want to get into like big expensive cameras, and we kept it to the three basic principles. You know, which I keep saying that's really annoying. We kept it to the nine squares, you know, the 9 crosshairs, leading lines, and explained what aperture was, and took those apart and explained how it worked and explained how to lay your photo out properly, how to look into the 4 corners of the picture before you hit the shutter button. Explained a little bit about like dodge and burn and things like that to help you if there's just stuff in the corners that you can't get away from. How depth of field can draw the eye into the picture, and then with leading, you know, so all those things we had fun and kind of explained everything to them. And like at the beginning of the class, we were like, all right, who here has taken a picture of them being at Knowledge Fest? So we made everybody get up and take a picture to tell it, you know, it was like, hey, you know, I'm at Knowledge Fest and this is awesome and I'm here to learn.
Yeah.
And the funny part is one of my competitors here was sitting in the second row. So there was a part in the speech where I was like, you know, are your competitors here? Because if they're not, this is something you can use to show your clients or people that follow you that, hey, look, I am here to learn, get better at my craft, and they're not. So this automatically makes me more valuable, more better? I'm staying current. What kind of training do they have? I said, unless you're like my guys where they're in the second row right here taking my class.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. But I'm really good friends with those guys, so
Yeah.
I help them out all the time. They're really cool. So I was like, oh, this is cool. That was kind of neat that they were there, actually. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun.
John K says, is there a way for average folks to watch that class?
You know, it's one of those things where they don't like us to record the shows for rebroadcast because they're supposed to have the same show at all four knowledge fests. However, in Dallas, that's the last time that class should be taught.
Yeah.
What we're probably going to do is in Dallas, we'll record the show because we'll be going to Dallas in August. We'll record the show, the class, I should say, and then we'll release the show for anyone to watch that wants to.
Oh,
because we don't talk about business per se, but anyone that either has a small business, is a hobbyist, or just wants to take better pictures to put on your social media would benefit from the class.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if someone's wanting to start YouTube, that's something huge. Like social media pictures, getting your face out there, even thumbnails, all this stuff plays into that.
Right.
Taking pictures.
Plus, anything you learn, anything photo related that you learn also is backwards compatible as video techniques. So you don't have to, it's not like one technique doesn't interchange with the others. So it makes it really cool.
Well, and I think, using the phone for me, like when I do thumbnails and stuff, I use the phone more than I use my cameras just because it does a lot of the hard work for you and it's easy. Yeah. You already have the file on there. You don't have to edit as much. And it's an easy hack for me to get it quick, good enough photo.
I just screen grab.
There you go.
I never take a thumbnail photo. I just screen grab. I'll go through the video. Usually by the time I'm done with the video, I have an idea of what I want the thumbnail to be. Right. And I just go back, find that, and click on it, and there you go. Because YouTube wants such a crappy picture anyways, as far as the size.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's the worst. I ended up, this is a side jag, but I ended up paying for Canva. It's like, you know what I'm talking about, right? The online designs. It's like an online design software. But anyways, they have a lot of templates set up, and it's just easy. Like boom, boom, boom. I get the thumbnail in literally 5 minutes maximum. Cool. So yeah.
Wow.
There's also one where you can pay where they will do up to 10 thumbnails for you a month or whatever. You can even pay this. I was watching another video where you could send your videos off to be edited by other people. I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, that would not work.
But some people, I guess, they just want the stuff out there. They don't want to do it.
Yeah, no. So we did get to see a lot of new products. That's cool. There was way more new products out there than we thought there'd be.
Right.
And that was kind of nice.
Well, what else can you spill? I'll tell you, if Alpine come out with a 7909, same look, a sick DAC in it, Bluetooth, and a few more features, like I would pay $1,000 for it, for sure.
You're never. I'm not gonna say you're never gonna see that, but the likelihood of you seeing that is thin because when Sony did the GS9, they've never. I don't think they've ever gotten their money back on that.
No, the GS9 was too expensive too for it was. Like,
but there again, and that's what the Alpine would be because it's not like Alpine's gonna come out with something any cheaper. If anything, the Alpine would probably cost more.
Yeah, the Sony, they didn't have the heritage to do it like the 79. Even though I was a Sony guy, I run the Sony ES head units, and the C90 was legendary, but it wasn't like a 7909.
Well, Sony did talk about their new ES amplifiers that are coming out.
Oh, they did?
So they did talk about their new ES amplifiers, but they didn't have them there to show. And you're not going to see them anytime in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So it was just more like, hey.
I'm an ES fan. I haven't messed with any of the new stuff, but like the ES, the XES stuff it was pretty dope back in the day. The C90 had an absolutely atrocious screen. The screens on all the ES sucked, but they did have the dinosaur. They had the dinosaur, you know.
Never saw it. Oh, the dinosaur across the screen?
Right, yeah, the dinosaur across the screen.
Oh, okay. I was not a Sony guy.
Yeah. I loved them. I was Sony. I had Denon. I had Nakamichi when Nakamichi was like still Nakamichi with the 45Z or whatever it was. And
I mean, Denon
Clary.
was just a reworked Sony, so
yeah,
that was just a Sony with a new front end on it. It wasn't like it was Denon. Well, supposedly Fernando talked to them, and we're supposed to be getting. They're going to loan us one of the new radios and some ES speakers to play with. So that ought to be cool. I don't know when that's going to happen, but eventually we'll. Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear those new ES speakers and be able to see what they do. They're extremely reasonably priced, so if they sound great, then cool, all the better.
Yeah, those retail for like $300 or something. So,
and then Andy from Audio Frog gave us one of the little new 4-channel amplifiers to play with.
Ooh.
So that thing's a little brick. Oh my god, that thing is a brick. Like if you got hit by this thing, it would kill you. It's so small and so compact and tight and just like holy Jesus.
Well, so have they been offering amplifiers? I remember a long time ago him posting about they were doing some amplifier testing, but then I don't remember. Like I didn't follow up to see if they actually sold.
So they never. So if you go back and watch our Knowledge Fest Indie when we were talking with him, he had it in his back pocket and he pulled it out and showed it to everybody. Yeah. And then he put it back in his pocket, and you know, they were in the development stage of it, and when they were getting pretty close to being fully developed, COVID hit, and then the chip shortage, and then it just kind of got put on the back burner because everyone was kind of leery about spending money.
Yeah.
And Audio Frog is a small company, and naturally the fear was, oh crap, we just don't want to spend this money right now because we might need it to pay the bills. I mean, that's my guess.
Right.
And now moving forward, we're to that point. So Andy had his car there and he had the amps at it, and I asked him because I'm going to see him obviously next week at Master Tech Expo. We're doing a class together, and I was like, "Can I borrow this till next week, or so we can like dyno it and film it?" And it sounded like a really good idea at the time.
Right.
Like we'll have time, and I'm like, "How the hell are we going to have time to do this? Shit." So, but we did, yeah. So we have to film that next week. I don't know when it'll get edited, but we just need to get it in the can.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty sexy little amp, that's for sure. I can't wait to see what it does on the dyno and then put it in Fernando's car and listen to it.
Is that it right now, or is there a mono to go with it? Or
no, there's a mono. There's a mono, but we asked for the 4-channel.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, man, who cares about a mono? I mean, mono's going to do it.
I'm with you on the mono. You know, honestly, everybody but us cares about the mono, but me, I want to know about the 4-channel.
Yeah, I don't care about the mono. I mean, you know, oh, hey, it's a whatever, 800 or 1,000 watt mono. Yippity doo. Great. Right. It's going to make bass. Woohoo, yay. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
that's kind of how I am too. But people
throw me the 4-channel. Well, you know, but hey, send it to Derek.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
Send it to Derek. Derek can mono that thing all day long. I don't care. I want to have fun with the 4-channel because that's regardless of what you're going to do, at some point you're going to need the 4-channel to match.
Right. Well, I mean, that's where you're hearing all your music from, is the 4-channel. So believe it or not, it's shocking. It's shocking news to most of us.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Yeah.
Fake news for sure.
But I've been considering. So there are quite a few 6-channel DSP amps out there.
Yeah.
Now. And I've been considering, I'm thinking about switching Trooper over to just a 6-channel DSP, and then I can play with whatever mono amp I want to do. But I can have my front stage, my rear fill, everything kicked up on that, never change that out, and just play with whatever mono amp I want to try.
Well, what 6-channel would you go with?
I even considered the ARC 8-channel, the
Ooh,
PS50
okay.
or the PS8.
Another new product that's coming out.
Oh,
Funny you
okay.
should mention the PS50. So third quarter, we're getting the replacement for the PS50. It's going up to, I believe, 110 or 120 watts a channel.
Oh, dude, so that could run a sub.
Same form factor, same size, just it's getting the new chipset, which will
Wow.
be like double the power that it is right now.
Ooh, I'm
So
liking
they
that.
had those there to show, and I go, so when can I get one of these to play with? And he goes, I mean, you can hold that one, but it's not going to get you very far. I was like, so we got vaporware right here. He goes,
Right.
no, it's not total vaporware, but you know, it's not there yet. This is a straight prototype. And I was
Right.
like, okay, cool.
Straight out of prototyping. See, that's an
That's
option. The audio control 6.1200. What other options are out there that you know of offhand?
well, it's so, and that's the thing. I mean, you got like a Helix. Obviously, you could do a
Right.
Helix. You could do an audio control. You have JL. You have Audison. Makes the 8-channel, which is a really nice 6-channel. Like the Forza is a great little 6-channel amplifier because you get double the power on the mid bass.
Right.
Especially if you're running like reasonably priced speakers, because efficient speakers. Like
Yeah.
the Forza is just so much fun to do, mainly because it's so tiny, and when you get done with it, the amount of sound that comes out of it, you're just like, really, out of that? Oh. The only other thing that's smaller that you just sit there and go, really, out of that, is when you look at the match amplifiers
Right.
from Audio Tech Fisher, which is Helix. Like those are, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they get the amount of power and sound that they do out of those.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense because they're so small, they're so powerful, and you're like, really? Okay.
And, with me, I'm absolutely fine with 50 watts by 6. I can totally live with that. Now, of course, the audio control 100 watts. What's it? 125 watts by 6.
Yeah, it's 125. It's a big boy, man.
Yeah,
It's a big boy.
that's dream amount of power. I don't need that much power. I
I
can
don't even
live
know
it.
if it's a dream. It's a lot of power.
Right.
Another one that's really fun is just the regular Prima amp. For those who've never seen that, that's the one that Doug has buried behind it. Had buried behind his dash in the F-150. It's 8 channels. It's
Is it
like 35
DSP
by
too?
8. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's a full 8-channel DSP. We just did one of those okay, hold on. Wrong mic. We just had the Lexus car that we hate the most, which I can't believe I can't think of it right now, probably because I'm tired and I'm driving.
The SC 430
The
or something.
SC430, thank you, yes. And years ago, or earlier this year, Fernando and I put together like an emergency system. Like, if someone comes in and they want to redo everything, what do we do? And we're like, we'll do a full Prima system. We'll use the small Prima amplifier. We'll use the S1s, the 2 for the 6x9, because you can buy all the speakers a la carte, the 4.5 in the back. We'll do a new radio. We'll power the rear speakers off the radio, and then we'll go full active for the 3-way. I'm sorry, no, I take that back. You use the tweeter and the mid together on channel 1, and then channels 3 and 4 are the mid bass, the 6x9. Yeah. Channels 5 and 6 are the rear, and then 7 and 8 get bridged to the 8-inch sub, which we just use the kicker comp.
Right.
And we had thought about it. We put it all together. We're like, okay, no one will ever do this because it's still like $5,000.
Right.
And a guy came in the other day and was like, yeah, I want to do it. And we're like, oh, okay. And Jesus, man, like, most people, if you told them it was 35 watts per channel, they would look at you and say you're full of crap.
Yeah. And what speakers is that again? What did you say?
So it's the Audison Prima line. So
the speakers match the amp then.
Yes, the carpet mats and drapes. if you think of Prima, it's like the equivalent of Bose, meaning you have the Bose amp, you have the Bose speakers, and they all work together. Prima, though, you can take it out and you can use any speakers you want, and you can do whatever you want. If you take a Prima system and you put it all together, it works phenomenally. Like, it's just, I've never done one where it's like, oh, that sucked. Never.
That's well, I've got very little experience with Audison, so Audison and Hertz are kind of my blind spot when it comes to audio. That I just haven't messed with them much at all.
Yeah, it's funny too because when you think of DSPs, the Bit 1 was kind of like the godfather of the DSP coming of age.
Yeah,
because that really turned the tables and made room for everything that we have now. Was that Bit 1, and everyone was an Audison dealer back then, and then obviously everybody else kind of caught up and everyone just kind of walked away from it.
right.
But it's still, they make some really nice stuff.
Yeah,
but enough of Audison.
Yeah. Well, that's just where my head was kicking because I like Kicker makes an 8-channel amp, but it's a Marine amp.
Yeah.
And people are scared to use Marine amps in cars for some weird reason.
Oh, God, no. I would never do that. We use the Marine amp all the time. They're fucking idiots not to. Sorry. I mean, dude, all right, let's think about this for a minute. A Marine amp in a car. So it is built to work in the worst environment possible. It's
right.
It's conformal coated, so you can vibrate the crap out of it with no issues. It's going to sound the same as the 12-volt one because it's not like they've changed that. Right. And it's got a green stripe. Okay. Nah, screw that. I'm using that amp every day.
Exactly.
I mean, that was one of the things we just talked to Kicker about, our sales rep. I was like, dude, you guys are really screwing the pooch on this one again. I'm like, you guys don't have any amplifiers other than Marine amps and some SX or CSX amplifiers. I go, you do realize that in the Marine line you offer way more better products than you do in the 12-volt line, right? And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, you have a 6-channel amplifier in that line that's reasonably priced, and it's a 6-channel CSX amp that you don't make in the 12-volt line. Dumb, but okay. Just because it's got a green stripe, what the hell? I'm using that.
I think the screen looks better than the red because the KX was the comparable thing.
Well, the CSX is the yellow stuff, so which is like gray, or it's a yellow box, but it's a gray stripe, and it doesn't matter. It legit doesn't matter. It's like, who cares? Physically the amps look identical, other than the color of the stripe.
Right.
It's like if that's going to keep you up at night, you got bigger problems because like. This is a really cool 6-channel amp. So they have a 6-channel amp. They also have a 2-channel amp, which I
big
didn't
power
realize
2-channel.
No, they make a small 2-channel. They make 150 by 2.
Oh, wow.
It's the same size as the 401 and the 801, but it's just got a green stripe on it, and it's 150 by 2. And we found that out the other day because we were doing an old hard body pickup truck, and we needed a 2-channel amplifier that was small because we were doing the 801.
Yeah.
And Paul's like, well, they have a 2-channel Marine, because I had at some point told him that he needs to buy all the Marine amps. And I was like, really? Cool. So we stacked both of those in a car, and I was like, this is so awesome. Like, yeah. But, as soon as you say something was Marine, like you said, the 12-volt guys just kind of shy away from it. Like, oh, I can't do that.
It's like, it's not compatible. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so it's shipping. It's the same thing. And the other cool thing, like with Kicker, all the Marine amps come with the bass knob.
Yeah.
That one out. So when you buy the Marine sub amp, you get the bass knob.
Right.
I'm like, guys, really? Yeah. And some people complain, oh, I got to pay more for it. Well, they're freaking conformal coating the circuit board. I mean, that alone is worth the extra money.
Yeah. Well, and the KX amps aren't out right now, so it's Marine or CX.
They're gone. Yeah.
Right.
So
right. Yeah.
And the KX is just now green. So,
right. Yeah, the KX is green with the MA.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay, so everyone's like, oh, we can't get a KX amp. well, yeah, you can get an 8-channel marine amp and you can get a small monoblock. So, yeah, technically you can buy all the kicker amps you want because, like, nobody else is buying them. Because screw that, man. We stock all those things, man. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's a tool, man. It's a tool, does the job. It's not my fault they can't figure out how to tell people to buy these things.
Right.
You know?
Well, they got some cool amps. I'm gonna pop it up so the folks can see it
Yeah.
online.
Oh, dude, and that giant 2-channel marine
that's
amp.
That's one I'm showing them right now. It's the 1202.
Yes, it's so awesome. That amp was brought out to power the 10-inch cans because when they made the 10-inch cans, they were like, we don't make an amp to power these, and so they're like, all right, well, we'll design an amp to power these. But they only came out with it in the marine line because it is literally does one thing. It powers their cans. And Kicker doesn't want to be a company that doesn't have an amp to power something they make. That's something to keep in mind, guys. Kicker does not make a product that does not have an amp to power it.
Did you just can't wink? We couldn't see.
No, I didn't. I didn't do anything. But anyway, yeah, dude, that thing's badass.
Yeah, it's 300 by 2 at 4 ohms, 600 by 2 at 2 ohms.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's insane. I mean, it's a giant 2-channel amplifier that it's crazy.
Yeah. People quit sleeping on the marine.
It's just, yeah. I mean, it's just silly. It's fun. And there again, in the Rockford lineup, if we're going to play that game, they have the new M5 series, which is their new marine version of the mini Power Ts.
Yeah.
That they're not bringing over into car audio, into the 12-volt side. It's strictly marine. And that little freaking 800 by 4 at 4 ohms, I believe, was putting out like it was either 104 or 124 watts a channel at 4 ohm.
Jeez.
It was, and at 2 ohm, it was just stupid. Like it was like, Jesus, really, guys? Like, don't even bother. Because I got into a debate with the ARC guys because they were like, oh, nothing puts out as much power as this thing does. I go, yeah, except for that Rockford amp, it pretty much does. And they're like, no. And I go, all right, hold on, here's the numbers. And they're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, are you guys doing the news show tomorrow?
Yes.
Did you see the Rockford sale to Patrick? Oh, dude, what's going on?
I'll talk about it tomorrow, but suffice it to say, I hate it when I'm right, but dude, I totally called that one.
You called it.
Oh, I totally called it. And I was like, when we actually found out the day before because, and which was sad. I mean, okay, we weren't confirmed the day before. I will say that, to be fair, because it wasn't confirmed.
Yeah.
Everybody found out on the same day, but we had kind of figured something was going on, and it was like, no, it's fine. It's nothing to get worried about. Patrick, those guys, that company owns like 150 different companies from car audio to doors. I mean, they have their finger in everything.
Yeah.
It's quite ridiculous. They talk about RV and stuff like that, but they're into boats. They have another company, Progressive Rep Firm, that just bought our local rep firm here. This company called MAG Sales. The guy Bill Freeman that we always talk about on the show.
Yeah.
The company he works for, the owner was a guy named Sajecki, and they are now owned by Progressive, just whatever the hell it's called. Because basically they went around and they I can't, dude, it's insane. Like the numbers that they own of rep firms, and they bought Wet Sounds a while back, and I'm sure they're not done.
Yeah.
Like we are going to see more companies that these guys are going to buy.
Yeah, and the company I work for is currently owned by a company that's very similar. They just got their fingers and everything, and it was just like a we were a profitable business in our area, so they picked it up. Just add it to the, you know, repertoire. I guess.
And that's what they do. They just, when they go into an industry, they look to see who's profitable, who's making money, who looks good, where they can apply their other companies to. They were already one of the largest purchasers of Rockford product to begin with.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, they were already dictating terms to Rockford anyway. So it was like, okay, cool, never mind. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So now we're really not going to get any more 12-volt stuff. It's going to be all marine and motorcycles.
No. Slow down.
Listen, I hate to jump to conclusions, but we jumped.
Don't jump to that conclusion. I can tell you right now, don't jump to that conclusion. Yeah. Don't go there. Yeah. We'll just leave it at that.
So I did have a poll. I had time to put up a poll.
Oh, nice.
And I done it in chat, so it was just a fun one. And we've got 61 votes on it so far since we've been streaming.
Oh, cool.
So what's the better entrance? There's two options: Yo 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 or It's Your Boy. What do you think's winning right now?
I would hope it's your boy.
It's Your Boy is winning by a very slight margin. It's 51% to 49%.
So the reason why I don't like Yo 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 is because there was a DJ here, the guy by the name of Bubba the Love Sponge, and he would always go, Yo 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 Yo, what's up? And
I remember Bubba.
I hated that.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's like, what is this? Like, he started it in the 90s, and then his whole career was like, yo, 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 yo. And you're just like, please stop. Please quit.
I can't even remember. I think I got it from MTV Raps. Someone used to say
probably.
But, you know, that's where most of my personality comes from, MTV Raps and early 90s MTV.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I went for something. I went for something a little bit more casual in our entry, our intros. You know, that's why you just get good morning, guys, and welcome to the show.
Right. There you go, Ed Lover.
Yeah. Because we always start our show with good morning, and we always end it with good night.
Right. On to the next one.
And that's yeah. And that was the thing, you know, it was funny when he did that, he did it by accident, and then he did it in a couple of them. And I go, all right, you realize we're gonna have to be doing that in every show from now on. And he's like, yeah, that's probably a good one. I was like, and originally we would only do it on. See, we don't do it on every show. Originally, that was just going to be something that was for install diaries.
Yeah.
But it has migrated through because sometimes when he goes to end the show, he's just pre-programmed to end the show.
Right.
And so he'll say, like, on to the next one. I'll be like, oh, whatever. It's good enough. Yeah. Let's make him think that there's going to be another show at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Hey, you know, once you start doing something, and when you change it up, they're like, well, just like we, you know, Derek used to be Big D Wiz, and then he just went to be calling Derek. So he kind of went through the, what's his name? Prince. Remember when he changed his name to the symbol? We had like one of those situations going for the longest time.
Yeah, the artist formerly known as Prince. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the YouTuber formerly known as Big D Wiz, that pretty much everyone still just calls him Big D Wiz.
Right.
And honestly, every time I hear Kip be like, "Oh, it's Wilson Auto Labs," I'm like, "Who? Oh, yeah. Derek. All right, yeah, just call him Derek. I mean, let's not even do that. I mean, I would have kept Big D Wiz, but I get why he changed it. I mean, it's definitely it's way better sounding to the people that matter.
Yeah,
but I mean, you know,
yeah, for sure. But whatever. You know, and when his channel really grown when he changed it to Wilson Audio Labs from Old School Stereo, because that was kind of you know.
I think that was just kind of lightning in a bottle, because about that same time too is when he did that giant subwoofer video that just like exploded. So I think the two probably worked well together.
Right. And I was just giving him crap about that. I was texting him today, talking about. I was like, you know, like. You have 4 videos over 1 million views, and 2 of them are subwoofers. And like, and you're the amp dyno guy. Like, what's going? Like, maybe you need to test more subwoofers, man.
That was the most clickbaity video ever.
Yeah. That's, hey, I mean, someone's got to be Scotty Kilmer. That's how he does it, man.
I don't know. I suck with the clickbaity titles. I just can't do that.
I lean too far into troll when I do, if I go way too far clickbait, because then I'm just doing stuff to make people mad, like the OFC CCA thing.
Oh yeah, and that just boomerangs so badly.
I know.
Yeah. Well, on Instagram, sometimes I'll just use a clickbaity title just because it kind of fits.
Right.
The problem we have, like with those, is that we cover so many topics that it's like, what are we going to call this one? I don't know.
Yeah. The first thing we talked about, the middle thing we talked about, the last three things we talked about.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
So what else you got going on, man? What's going on in Deansville? What's coming up next trip?
So next trip is the MasterTech Expo, and that one we leave not this Sunday, but next Sunday. We fly out about like 8:00 in the morning, and we're there until Wednesday night, I believe. I believe we leave Wednesday night and get home like some ungodly time Thursday morning. We're going to be there working with Kenwood, and they have us doing their amp section.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be talking about how we use Kenwood amplifiers to think a little bit outside of the box. We're gonna be teaching a half-hour class on the modern Deccan 4, I think is what we called it.
Yeah.
And it's there again. It's kind of a clickbaity title because it has nothing to do with putting a radio in a dash. It has more to do with our front stage upgrade, where we take a 5-channel amp and we don't use it to power front rear sub. We use it to power like tweeter mid and a sub, or to go, an active, do 2 5-channel amplifiers, do something other than front rear sub, because most cars, you're not doing that anymore. Also talking about which was, it's one of those things where when you have to teach a class on it, you really need to fine tune all the little pieces of information so that they all that makes sense. So when that one guy asked that question, you'll be like, yeah, it's this.
There's always the one guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the one guy. Like the thing that one of the things, like I was talking with Eric at Rockford, I don't know, a year ago or whatever, and we were talking about one of the things that drives them absolutely nuts. And that is when someone buys like an R2 or a Power T or buys any one of their amplifiers, and then they throw some crappy high level to low level adapter in front of it.
Oh, yes.
And you're like, why did you do that?
Line leveling, bro. That's
most people don't know. It's like, I didn't know I could do it. There's no high level plug on it. It's like, no, it's through the RCAs. It's through the RCAs.
Right.
Just power and ground in, you're good. A signal in, you're good. And the thing is that in order to do that, you just have to know how much voltage that amplifier can take over that RCA input.
Right.
Most amplifier manufacturers are 10 volts. Like Kicker is typically 10 volts on their stuff. But we found out that the Kenwood amps are 12 volts.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh. And that, you got to understand, though, that is a big deal. Because a lot of the times, these cars that have the high voltage output are somewhere around 9 volts. And it's like, okay, I mean, the likelihood of you getting upward 9 volts playing, unless you're playing a sine wave like we're doing to test it, it's pretty unlikely. But still, it's knowing that we still have a little bit more room just in case. It's kind of nice.
Unless it's an amplified factory system, you're probably not getting to the 10 volts.
No,
right?
But just knowing that if I go over that, I'm good.
You got a little headroom, so to speak.
I got a gap. I'm gapping.
Yeah. To go to gap.
Yeah, so right now, like last night, I spent the few hours I had to sit and work instead of editing videos. I spent designing covers for the amplifiers on the laser because we're going to have the amplifiers upside down
Right.
in a display that we're building, which I'm sure we'll put on. We'll talk about on Instagram or something like that just to show you guys what we're doing. And of course, they're like, "You guys are nuts." I'm like, "Yeah, but it'd be really cool. So can we do it?" And they're like, "Yeah, of course." So I had them send me some amplifiers so that we could do this. And, they're like, "All right, well, cool." I was like, it's so weird when you say, "Hey, I want to do this."
Right.
And then they send you the stuff.
And then you got to do it.
Yeah, well, then you got to do it. But still, they're like, "Yeah, no problem. It's on its way to be there Friday." And you're just like, wow,
Yeah.
Is that easy? Where it's like you'll ask somebody else for something and they want a 10-page essay as far as, all right, what are you going to do? What is our return on investment? How are we going to do this? It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Anytime I get that, I'm like, nah, never mind. It's fun.
Yeah, it's like, okay, just pick a video, for God's sakes. There's over 1,000. There's over 1,500. There's a whole bunch of videos. Pick one. That's why we want it. Yeah, if it's too much of a hassle, I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Forget that.
Yeah.
No, I got another idea I can do with somebody else. It's way more fun.
Yeah. I literally got a spreadsheet of ideas, so we'll just go on to the next one. To the next one, like Nando.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny too because we just got done doing the Ground Zero stuff, which that was we were so happy to get that 6-month nightmare out of the way. I was like, oh my God, thank God it's over. And immediately they were like, all right, well, we want to do this. And I was like, whoa, slow down, slow down. We just did yours, so we got to wait a month or two before we can do another one. Otherwise, people are going to be like, hey, you just did that. And we're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
was this the Ground Zero channel now?
Yeah, exactly. So in April, we're going to do two Ground Zero amps. It's basically the same. We'll do dynos, we'll do unboxings, we'll do all that nonsense, but then we're going to give them away. And not only are we going to give them away, we're mounting them to an amp board. I'm going to wire them up to test them, and then we're just going to ship you the whole thing.
Oh, there you go.
So you'll get them all mounted, all the wire, everything. You just got to hook it up to your stereo or however you're going to hook it up. I don't really care. That's on you.
Your part's done.
You figure it out past there. If you entered and didn't know how you're going to hook it up to your car and you won, you were dumb.
Just throw it on the floor and hook the wires up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's not. I mean, seriously, yeah.
I hope whoever wins it just throws it in the back of their truck, doesn't mount it, and just runs the wires positive and negative, and
yeah. I mean, at this point, yeah. So, oh God. So yeah, we'll be doing that in April sometime, which is kind of cool. Hopefully by then we'll be caught up, and be back to where we can sit down at night and make videos and.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. I've got a CT Sound Tropo subwoofer video coming out Sunday, and I've had this video this subwoofer for months, and it's just so hard for me to do subwoofer testing because I got to put it in the vehicle. I got to come in here and do testing. It's like, so I've got it done, and I know the feeling like, man, I need to get this done. I've had it long enough. Just set aside the time, get it done.
Yeah. I mean, right now we're just in a place where it's like there's just literally not enough time in the day to do everything we need to do and have a job.
Right.
Like if we didn't have a job, then we could get shit done.
Yeah.
But it's that whole like working 6 days a week thing that just sucks.
Yeah, that gets him.
Yeah, it gets in the way. And I was like, God dang. Oh man, yeah, it's just like, ugh. And then I forgot that our laptop broke.
Oh no.
And yeah, did I mention that to you? The freaking Windows laptop that we used to tune died. Straight up died. Like nothing on it. Like light doesn't come on to show that it's charging. It's straight up just dead.
Done. Did you order a new one yet?
Crap. Well, no, because I was like, I'm just gonna take this one. I want to get the hard drive stripped. I want to find somebody that hopefully can get all the tunes off of the hard drive and just like put them on a thumb drive so I'm just going to get an external drive. And so we used Fernando's the other day, and then I remembered we had a car come in that was today that I was going to have to tune, I was like, oh crap! Well, I have a Windows computer at my house that I bought when I bought the laser, and I've never done anything with it, other than like Haley used it to take some tests at school. So, I had to dig that thing out last night and make sure it was all up to date and get all the safety crap up and just go through the whole computer, because I mean it has maybe 10 hours of use on it.
Yeah.
But it was just a cheap HP, and I've figured out that even if it's a Windows machine, I cannot use a cheap laptop. Like, because like the one that we had, the Lenovo Yoga,
yeah,
it was a nice laptop. I mean, it was metal. It had, the keys were nice, and it was, I made Paul spend some money on that when he bought it for me. It was his Apple.
Is it a soldered on hard drive, or can you take the hard drive out and put it in?
I think it's a soldered on hard drive.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's gonna suck no matter what. I'm just hoping they can get it off. If they can't, it's like, sorry, fuck.
Do it like Office Space. Just smash it.
Oh, I'll be so pissed. But
yeah. Well, every time I have to tune, I have to grab my wife's laptop because I can't tune the Q class amps with the MacBook. So that's always fun. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that is the one nice thing about the audio control, is that you can tune in with the MacBook.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That would be
JL and Apple, JL and audio control are both capable of using both Windows and Mac.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah. That's kind of nice. You don't want to dual boot put that poison on your MacBook.
No, I did that to one computer. I paid somebody to do all that crap for me.
Yeah.
And I actually paid them to put it back. I go, all right, this didn't work. Please take it all off. Here's more money. Please make it stop. Please make it stop.
Something's terribly wrong.
Yeah, it's like, this was a bad idea. And they're like, really? I go, yeah, please, just don't ask. Just stop. Make it stop.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, okay. Yeah, it was horrible. It was just a horrible experience.
So what else? What else you got to talk about? What's going on?
I mean, reality is right now my brain is fried, and we're I'm just trying to get everything caught up. I mean, man, this is one of those times where it's just like there's too much stuff going on.
Yeah,
and something's got to give.
What's after MasterTech Expo then? What's
after MasterTech Expo is kind of sitting back trying to figure out what we've recorded over the past month, and me hurrying up to get my taxes and the accountant.
Oh yes,
before the end of the month.
Oh dude, I'm so glad I tackled it early. I'm usually I'm sweating it, in April, but I've got it done. It feels so good.
It's just, dude. It's just. Man, it sucks. Like, January probably would have been the month to do it, but even in January, it was just like I didn't have any time. I had it just sucked.
It does suck.
It just sucks, man. I don't know why people pay other people to do this crap. It's like,
yeah,
but,
it's a nightmare.
No, I mean, so we have a ton of stuff that's recorded that we're gonna get out, which is nice. I mean, I'd just be happy when we could just have one straight week that's just normal, that I don't have to, I can just literally come home and edit a video and go to bed and get up and go to work. And, but, hopefully sometime in March, things will slow down and we can get back to normal of just doing cool stuff.
12-volt electronics. He says you just lost because Dean isn't eating a salad while driving.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Actually, it's funny though. We went to, Joe's Crab Shack. We went to Joe's Crab Shack.
Yeah.
And I had the blackened mahi tacos.
Oh.
So that's as close as I could get to a salad.
It's a meat salad.
I mean, there's always meat in the salad, but. Well,
right.
Yeah, I usually have chicken, but this was blackened mahi, so it was really yummy. I think it was black. I don't know. It was mahi. That's all I know.
What do you guys got in June?
In June, I don't think we have anything in June. I think June is like a laid back month for us.
Oh wow.
So April, so this really March is just catching up. So March, I feel we'll get all back to normal, and then in April, we have one thing confirmed right now. So in April, we're going to Connecticut in the middle of the month for like 1 day to do. There's a company out there, a distributor up there called Go Fast Solutions.
Right.
And we're going, I think we're going up there on the 6th to film that event for them and talk about it. It's a dealer event, and they're doing something like giving away $1 million for a basketball shoot.
Wow.
I don't know. They got some weird stuff going on, and they asked us if we could come out there and hang out and film it and make content and all that other crap. And I was like, yeah, sure. It sounds like fun.
Yeah,
and then
I don't even know where Connecticut is, to be honest.
I don't either. I don't know. It sounds far away. It sounds like a long plane flight.
It's up north somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the month, we may have something else planned, but it's not confirmed yet, so I'm not going to talk about it. But then after that, it's like I don't think we have anything going on in June. July is vacation.
Right.
And then August will be down. Oh, you know what June is?
What?
June is Orlando, I think. June might be Orlando. Knowledge Fest.
Oh, okay. I wonder what day that is. I asked because I'm taking my vacation in June.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Oh, another thing that was cool in Knowledge Fest was the gentleman that gave me the Orion Beast heatsink was there. And at some point one night, I don't remember which night it was really freaking late, and we were at the bar, and I don't drink, yes. Everyone buys me waters. It's wonderful. And he walks up to me, and he goes, hey, man, I'm the guy that gave you the Beast heatsink. And I was like, no shit. Oh, this is so cool. And so we hung out and talked for like 20 minutes or an hour. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. That was really cool. Because it's always nice to meet people face to face.
Yeah.
I got to do a lot of that because there's a lot of guys that we've met through COVID, so you don't actually get to meet them in person. So actually talking with some of these people in person for once was really freaking cool. So that was nice.
It's nice to get to meet people in person for sure. Like people you talk to online, and or you may have only we just met in real life the very first time last year.
Yeah.
So it didn't seem like it. It didn't seem like it, but but
well, and that was the other thing too, is that I told we always pick on Natasha from Morel, and I told everyone, I was like, listen, I'm going to stand next to Natasha and take a picture so you guys can finally meet Natasha. And it went exactly as I thought. Dude, Natasha's hot. It's like.
Well, was she the one jumping in the videos? Because I thought I seen her in there when you were talking to. Who were you talking to? She had a Morel badge on.
That was her then.
Yeah.
She had on a Morel badge. It was her because there was only the reality is there was only like 4 girls there in the whole thing. So I mean, it's like there's not that many. Although we did meet, so there's a place up in the Northeast called Speaker Box, and there's a young lady that works there called Alex, and she's a big fan of the show, and when she met Fernando, because I was out, we typically separate at nighttime for a while. We circle the wagons as it gets later, but we kind of mingle around. And she met Fernando, and Fernando knew who she was because she was like in the top 5 or 10 sales guys. She won that thing.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's you. And that's so awesome. And he goes, wait, you're Alex. And she's like, oh my God, you know my name now? There's no freaking way you know my name. And I was like, and so later that night when she met me, Fernando was like, yeah, she's the one that was going up for Salesman of the Year. And I go, oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about her. And she's like, oh, my gosh. But then we hung out with her, and she was really cool. But, yeah, it's always nice to meet, people and hang out with them and just figure out what they're doing and how they're being successful, or a lot of the times they have questions and we have questions for them, and it's just fun. It's just really cool. And sleep is always an option.
Yeah, sleep's optional. When I was watching the video of you guys in Vegas, there was one moment where you're walking by some tables and it looked like some kids were getting in trouble. Looks like their mom was yelling at the kids. You edited this, so you had to see this. And then when you went back around, you could see them again. Like the kids definitely were doing something they weren't supposed to be doing. And for whatever reason, man, it made me laugh out loud for real.
That's why we do it.
So did you notice that as you were editing? Obviously, you probably did.
Well, if it was from Knowledge Fest this trip, that was all live.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that was live. You didn't see that. But yeah, it was definitely live. And if I know somebody besides me seen it, because they were definitely yelling at them little kids. They were touching something they weren't supposed to be touching. Something was going on.
Well, the funny part was that we did an Instagram at one day, and if you caught it live, you got to catch it. But then at the end, Nalika from Orca, their Orca dealers are going to be able to carry Focal home stuff now. Select pieces like headphones and Bluetooth speakers. And so he was demoing the Bluetooth speaker, playing some music, and immediately Instagram shut off the stream.
Oh, I heard you say something about that. Yeah.
And I was like, crap. And I just finally got the video back. So I have the video, but I'm going to put it up on YouTube so everyone can see it, because we talked about a lot of neat stuff that was new. Like there's a whole scene in there where I go through the new Alpine GUI. That was really cool, because Alpine and their new 5 series radios that they have coming out, dude, Alpine has really tried to raise the bar for Alpine. Along with the basic things like, obviously finally we're getting the high-res screen, and they've always had HDMI and fun stuff like that. Now they got the cool little volume knob that you can attach to the screen or mount somewhere in the car, which at first I thought was kind of dumb. But now that I've seen it in action, I was like, no, this is cool. This is really cool, because, if you're mounting the screen somewhere, like it's cool off to the left or right of the screen, because a lot of people still like knobs. And like in my Camaro, that always just hit the knob because it was right there in the center. So having it off to the far side of the screen has already taken up so much real estate. Who cares?
Right.
But then putting the knob like in the center console or something like that, that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
So I'll be anxious.
Knobs. You know how I feel.
You
about
like
knobs.
knobs.
I like them.
You like knobs. But that's what I like about this, because it gives you the clean look of the radio, which is the reason why I don't like knobs, but still a knob. So you could mount that knob like by your armrest or something like that, and that'd be really cool. So, they kind of won me over now that I've seen it in action. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I like this. And they got, they had all their new R series speakers out there, the 3-way set. And this year they're breaking a couple things that you didn't notice. Like we didn't even notice at first, is they're doing away with neodymium.
Oh, wow.
Then there's, you can't buy it anymore.
So it's all ferrite again?
Yeah. So you can't buy neodymium unless you're going to gold plate these things. So they had to go back to ferrite magnets. And which is fine. It's actually the new ferrite magnet R-type is shallower and more compact than, obviously the magnet isn't, but the structure and all that is kind of compensated for it. So they're still small enough to fit in most applications. But they're breaking the R series now into 2 levels, because as we've talked about before, the X-type is going away. And it will be replaced, but we can't talk about that until next week. Next week, the embargo will be lifted, and we can talk about what's coming out. I think it's next week. It's March sometime. Anyways, so you're gonna have you're gonna have R and R Pro.
Right.
And so
the Apple approach.
Well, kind of. So the R Pro is going to be the cast aluminum basket. The R is going to have the same exact basket as far as the mold, the look, and everything. It's just going to be made out of the resin-based baskets that they use all the time. And then with the standard R, just like it is now, where you get the little pieced crossovers. So it's like, which I love, which I
Right.
wish every manufacturer would go to, where it's like the tweeter gets a crossover, the mid-range gets its crossover, and we don't have this giant box. Well, the Pro is going back to the giant box.
Because people like to look at them. I
People
get.
like to look at them.
I'm with you, but people like to look at them too. I get both
Yeah.
sides.
So the Pro, you're going to get the big box. So that, that'll make those guys happy.
Right.
But they're spreading. Let's just put it this way: they're spreading out the price points.
Yeah.
Because right now it's like a $200 price jump when you go from like an R to an X, and the price jump between R and what's coming after R is not going to be $200. So that's where we're getting the R Pro, is to kind of slide in there and fill in where that X price point is going to be.
Right.
And then we'll get the next thing after that, which that's going to be exciting. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Alpine's doing some things now, so it should be.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, they introduced so many new products at this show. I mean, it was great. You have the new R Type. You have two new shell mount subwoofers.
Right.
Which is really neat, because the new R Type shell mount woofer it's a total different design. It's actually designed so that you mount the speaker in from the front, but you screw the back magnet structure to the box.
Oh,
so
wow.
you don't have to put air, but you can literally suspend the woofer between the front and back of the box.
Oh, that's kind of like, that's,
Yeah.
Linear Power used to do an isobaric, where they had their own plastic enclosure that kind of joined the two in a piggyback style.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah, so this allows you, so like Kicker gives you those metal plates so that you can countersink in the magnet. Well, instead of giving you a metal plate, it's actually just the back of the woofer. So you can make the box as thin as humanly possible. And of course, they're going to sell a downfired enclosure already all set and ready to go. The one they had there was the prototype.
Right.
Which, it's funny. It was like, yeah, it's held together with, bubble gum and hot glue and yeah.
Oh, damn.
And then they have a new S type that's going to be in a plastic enclosure. So that'll be the all-weather version of it. So think of it as like if you're going to put it in the back of a Jeep or someplace that's going to be in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So it's not. Yeah. So they're doing that ABS style enclosure for it. It's a smaller power handling, obviously. And then they had their new truck box, their universal truck box, which, in typical Alpine fashion, they've really, overthought how they're. Ooh, there it is. They've overthought how they're going to do a truck box that's universal, and it's pretty neat how they've come up with. It's got 2.8s, which I'm not a 2.8s guy. I mean, I really wanted 2.10s. It didn't sound bad, but I still wanted 2.10s.
Yeah, most people do. I'm a 2.8s guy, but like most people are not going to be happy with 2.8s.
No, and some people like this, and other people, Fernando's like, which is funny because he's like a freaking 1.8 guy. He's like, but for him, he'd be perfectly happy with it. But he's thinking about the customers, and they're like, nah, we need we need two.
They probably always they say they want this level of bass, but you always know they want at least 20% more than that level that they said. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's so silly. Yeah. There's no question about it. So they had a ton of new stuff. They had, of course, their new Jeep radio, which basically it's their old radio with new operating system on it and whatnot, and the better screen. The better screen, I think, is the sale. But one of the things that really made Alpine, and Sony did the same thing, but they're really starting to take the internal EQ and the radio seriously.
Oh.
And now we're going to get band passes for all channels. So front, rear, sub is now all going to be a band pass.
Nice.
Which is cool. Kenwood has been doing it for years. Most people don't know that. But Kenwood's actually had a band pass on the front channel for years. And the funny part is Alpine, they were going through and showing me like, yeah, it has a bandpass on the front channel. We just can't figure out why. And I was like, wait, what? Wait a minute. Say that again. You can't figure out why it has it? And they're like, no, for the life of us, we can't. I was like, oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to teach you guys something today. For those of you that don't know why you'd put a bandpass on your radio's front output is because that's usually the channel that has the tweeters attached to it. And if you have, instead of turning the treble down in your EQ, which can be annoying, especially with something that has presets, is that you can add a low pass filter to that front channel and tune those tweeters down. So if you get a cheap set of tweeters that doesn't have attenuation built into the crossover, you can do it from the deck. So you can add like a 10,000 hertz 6 dB little reduction on the tweeter and smooth it all out and make it not so bright and obnoxious.
Well, that's part of the reason people love the ADPRS so much. It only had bandpass on the middle channels for the mid range.
Yeah.
So, and it had left and right EQs, which is nice. And a few.
So this gets better.
A few other things, level controls.
So now you're going to get EQs for all channels.
Oh.
So you get left, right, front, rear, sub EQs all across the board.
Nice.
So you have basic, which just gives you bass, mid, and treble combined like you're used to. You have their preset, which is all those cool Alpine color boxes that they put on the screen. Then you have advanced, which gives you driver front, driver rear, passenger, all of them. All the channels get independent 13 band parametric EQs.
What about level control?
It still has level control in the crossover. So you get level control in the crossover portion.
I guess it's a head unit, but that's close. I mean, I could live off that as a DSP for myself. For the kind of tuning I do,
Yeah. Well, like Sony, the new Sony, the GS9 replacement screen unit has very
one that's
similar
way better and way cheaper than the other one.
Yes.
That one,
that one. Yeah. Which hopefully we're going to get our hands on here soon. So that's what they're telling us. Hey, we're going to send you that to play with. You have to send it back though. We're like, yeah, whatever. Just give it to us to play with. Give it to us to play with, and give us a finite time when we have to send it back.
Exactly.
That's the key. I need to know when you need it back by, because that's going to dictate how soon we get to it.
Yeah. That's often, I don't think sometimes they don't realize that. Like, we really don't need this much extra stuff. I've got a lot of extra stuff, but I need it for the video, and I need as much time as I need to make the video.
Yeah. And it dictates on what number in the list of things we have to do you're going to get put into.
Right. Yeah.
So, another product that we got to play with that was there, or we got to see, is Audio Control is coming out with this was a product they were working on when we were there last year, is an EQ with a microphone, like a walkie-talkie style microphone.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were, why would you need this? And it's obviously marine application is really nice, because you can have it as your preamp in a marine, and you can talk to people over the speakers.
Right.
Motorhomes, trucks, ice cream vehicles. Anything where it's like you need a PA, Audio Control is going to make a preamp PA.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
It was pretty neat. And then they also, one of the things that they've been trying to expand upon is the ACX amplifier. That's the big bulletproof looking marine amplifiers that like Steve Meade put in the tank of water.
Yeah.
They're coming out with a 5-channel version of that. And that's like the first. Supposedly that's going to expand out to like a 6 or 7 amp line. So they had one of the new 5 channels there. And it's like one of 2. Like I was like, no one get excited. This is literally one of 2.
Yeah.
And we were gonna take it home so we could play with it. And they're like, I talked to the engineer, and he was like, "Yeah, you probably don't want to take that one because that one has been rode hard and put away wet." So I don't, that was the one we cooked. So I don't
Yeah.
think you're gonna want that one. We knew that if we sent that one to Knowledge Fest, like if something happened, we'd be okay.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Right. Well,
So
what do you say we end it here, man? You're home now?
I think I think it's a perfect time that keeps us at the same amount of time we'd normally be for both shows. So
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. Good.
Um,
Yeah, watch you tomorrow. You can talk about the Rockford Fosgate thing.
oh yeah, dude. Make sure to watch this 9 o'clock Dina Fernandez car stereo clips. We'll talk about what that means for Rockford Fosgate along with anything else that we find in the news. Next Thursday we'll be back doing this. I don't know what next week is going to look like for our channel. I'm not going to lie. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good at all. But we'll be back. We're doing a show this Saturday. We'll be back on Monday. So as far as like scheduled live shows go, next week is going to be normal. So we'll be back Monday. We'll do Friday. We'll do next Saturday. We'll do our shows on Thursday, which we'll be reviewing the Book of Boba Fett, which I still haven't figured out how I'm going to watch. I should have taken Sue's advice and watched it on the plane, but I slept through most of that, so it wouldn't have worked either. But yeah, and that's about all I can promise.
Okay. That's it. I can promise I have a CT Sound subwoofer review coming out Sunday. So that's it.
That's cool. I'll be running the Princess Disney half marathon on Sunday with Saley. So
yeah, are you gonna be wearing pink or purple or something?
I'll be wearing green.
Okay.
She made shirts, and she just took one of my running shirts. She's like, "Dude, I couldn't find you a shirt, so I'm just gonna put it on one of your old shirts." And I go, "I don't care.
There we go.
Whatever you want to do, kid. It's all good." So.
Oh man.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching and spending your evening with us. As always, you can find us back here at the same bad channel.
Same bad time.
Bye.
I got to hit in twice.